We're doing a lot of that stuff over the summer.
I was surprised that they actually opened it. I mean, this is the town of Amherst.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi.
How's everybody?
Good.
Good.
I interrupted the conversation.
Just talking about summer camp is actually up for the summer.
Oh, wow.
Good thing. My daughter is ready to burst out of the house. So,
Wait, Wendy, what's that say?
Pardon?
Namaste 6 feet away. Okay. It's beautiful out there, isn't it?
Yes.
We're going to go outside and play after this.
We should
So
do this.
Everybody doing well?
Yeah.
Haven't seen you in a while, Wendy.
I know. I've started to do Zoom, so now I thought, okay, I know how to do this.
I know.
Keith says hi.
Yeah, tell him I
Keith
said
says hi. Just too beautiful of a day and too much yard work.
That'll always be around.
Wendy, I was just thinking of you, like, why aren't you on Zoom with our classes?
And here I am.
Here you are. See, I sent you the energy out there or something.
Lisa, we
yes.
have met, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I took one of your intro to yoga classes way back when you were at the other location. I took prenatal and I think postnatal or yogas.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm seeing your face now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm recognizing you. All right, I'm going to read you something from a book called Heart Intelligence. It's written by people within the HeartMath Institute. And it's real simple. Being genuine and heart connected with your feelings provides the activating ingredients in both prayer and meditation. We all have felt the obvious difference between genuine appreciation and counterfeit appreciation. When appreciation is not genuine, it's not real. It's no more effective than a store mannequin trying to appreciate window shoppers. Imagine that. For instance, when blessing our food, we know the difference when we are heart connected or when we are mechanically repeating a memorized prayer. When prayer and meditation run split screen with other preoccupations, this does not raise our vibration, and we usually end up with wasted time filled with unfocused mind traffic. Many cultures, many spiritual cultures agree that inner stillness creates an energetic environment for supporting our advancing consciousness, which can unleash the transformational power of our love. When our mind finally lets go, we stop thinking. Inner stillness is where we land. From there, we can reset and upgrade the experience of our life. The earlier we learn the value of inner stillness, the less we need to experience the firmer ways life nudges us into considering higher choices for personal peace and happiness. We often hear ourselves and others say, if I had more foresight, I would have done this differently. Stillness is a primary source for increasing our foresight and discernment. It is a place that our heart can speak without the mind running it off the road. In order to be still and know, we first have to be still enough to listen. So as you close your eyes, see if you can find stillness. You can just quiet the mind, shut it down for a moment or two. and maintaining that stillness. Lower your chin. Lift your chest. Begin half circles. Go right into a full circle. Reverse direction. Now bring your head back on top of your shoulders and look from side to side. And then tilt your head to one side and move it forward and back. Gretchen. Hey, Gretchen, can you hear me? I guess not. And go to the other side. And then come back to center and roll your shoulders. Now take your right hand and bring it to your left knee and left hand behind you and twist to your left. Now come back through center, go right to the other side. Now come back to center once again and walk your hands forward and just sway a little bit here. And then roll up. Take your feet forward, feet flat on the floor, knees are bent. Take your hands back behind you and lift your hips up a little bit. And you don't have to come up all the way into a full reverse table, just lift up a little bit, move your hips from side to side. So move your hips more than your knees, for instance. There you go. And then set them back down. Roll your shoulders. Take your right arm and reach it back. And switch. And then cross your arms in front. And roll your shoulders again. Now, does anybody have anything going on physically that they need to address or want to address? One at a time.
Oh, good.
Everybody's feeling pretty good? No injuries? Wendy, come on.
Whole body would be okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll send over a massage therapist. I know. Lisa, you're doing well?
I'm all good.
Okay, and Gretchen, can you hear me? Gretchen? Guess not. Oh, well. Nancy, you're fine?
Fine. I kind of liked a week or so ago, remember we did, it was Gretchen's suggestion, we did a lot of stuff on the floor and the stretching, and that was quite nice, instead of up and down things.
Yeah.
Whatever,
We should,
whatever.
however, at the same, I like doing that too. But we should also be able to be like toddlers. Up and down, up and down, up and down.
Or maybe balancing, you mentioned balancing the other day, you know, the tree pose and that. Maybe I need to be more balanced, I guess.
All right, come like this. Take your right leg out to the side. Your left heel right into your groin. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna continue to face your torso forward and lean to your right. Take your right hand, you can grab your ankle, your shin, your foot, and you're gonna take your left hand and push and actually come up higher, because when you lean over, a lot of us, I certainly do, my tendency is for my glute to come up because my hip raises. So you're gonna push this down as though there's a 100-pound weight pushing down, so you can stretch this out right in here especially. Now, as you do this, lift your sternum. So lean over, lift your sternum, and bring your left ribs and your left shoulder back. Keep lifting through the sternum, press your right or your left hand down into that left thigh, and go into this nice deep open stretch. Now take your left arm and reach it away from you. And then slowly, and I'm gonna instruct you on this. You're gonna bring it up slowly, but you're gonna take the palm, which is facing forward, same direction as your chest. You're gonna start to turn it up as you raise the arm up, so that you outer spiral the shoulder and it doesn't collapse in. As you bring it up, the pinky and up and over, the pinky is now leading towards that extended right foot. Pinky is facing down, the palm of the hand is facing behind you. Reach, lift up through the sternum, bring the left ribs back, left shoulder back. Come on, back up.
It was tough.
Done. I think that did it for me.
Yeah.
Switch sides. Get yourself set. Start to lean to your left. Keep the right ribs and right shoulder moving back. Press the right hand into that thigh. Wendy, how's that feel for you?
A lot of stretch in the inner thigh on the left foot, left leg. Yeah. No, the leg that's extended. Yeah.
Okay. So this is where you're feeling it more so than here.
Exactly.
All right. Just work it for a couple of years. You'll start to feel it here once this loosens up. Keep moving your right ribs back. Lift your sternum. Reach your hand away. Slowly take it up in outer spiral so the palm starts to open up. Palm is facing towards the foot now. As you keep coming over, the pinky is closer to the foot. Palm is facing back behind you. Lift your sternum once again. Straighten that arm out, Nancy. Straighten out and reach it over a little bit more. Instead of here, bring it straight up. Straight up. Work this. So you have to stretch out right along the lats here. And then come on back up. Take your legs, pick them out. Now, bring the bottoms of your feet together, coming into your butterfly, your Baddha Konasana pose. Clasp your hands around the toes. Bring those feet in as close as you can. And then start to sit up tall by bringing your lower back forward. And you can start out doing this with your knees just to get some movement, or you can do them both going down at the same time. And then you eventually start to slow it down like a butterfly. Lift up through your chest. Now start to lean forward, not rounding and getting shorter, but lean forward. Stay tall. You're lifting up through your sternum. If you're able to go deeper, you can go for it. If you tend to round, take your hands back behind you and push into your hands, and what will happen is, even if you're flexible, this is going to help. You're going to lift up through your chest, and you're going to back bend while going forward. And it may not be a lot, but you'll feel the stretch in a number of different places. And then come on back up. Lean back if you want, if that helps to release your feet, lifting your knees, extending the legs forward. Does anybody feel that here in the outer hips? What about here? The inner
Thighs, inner thigh a bit.
legs? Okay. Okay. So come on into extended table. And what I want you to do is extend your table enough so that when you go back towards child's pose, you get a stretch underneath your arms, into your lats and your pecs. Now start to move your hips forward and come into a straight arm cobra. Move the shoulders back purposefully. And then exhale back into your child's pose and stretch out. Inhale, come forward. Cobra pose. Let the hips sink. Reach the chest up and forward. And isometrically pull your hands back. And then back into child's pose. This time as you come forward into your cobra, start to move from side to side. You're rolling your hips to one side, looking to the other side, and same thing, other direction. Now reach back into your child's pose. I know this is pretty simple stuff. Come forward again. This is what you're going to do. You can all see me. All right. From here, but just watch. Instead of lifting up into a cobra, you're going to lift up into a half cobra or parivrita, a twisted cobra. Just one hand is going to press in and you're going to twist open. Then you're going to come back down and go to the other side. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you go down. Now, normal cobra, lift up, and then back into child's pose. Bring your arms in closer. Now extend your hands out forward again. As you move your hips forward, step your right foot forward. and then just move forward and back. Wendy,
Yeah,
have you been golfing?
twice.
Yeah? How's your rotation?
I felt like I definitely got to do a lot of practice, but I felt like I was able to twist around
Okay.
without any pain.
Yeah, that's key. That helps. So whenever you're doing this movement here, if you have blocks, and by the way, if I haven't told you before, there are going to be no props at the studio going forward. Okay? You're going to have to bring your own props. But when you're in this type of pose, even if you're flexible, by using props, and I'll exaggerate and come up to the highest level, look at how much of a back bend I get, which stretches my back leg psoas, okay? And it doesn't matter so much when you move your hips back and you're doing a forward bend, but it's the back bend. Each time you come forward, bring your knee forward of your toes, but keep your heel down. So you can stretch out down here, this area down here, which we normally consider the Achilles tendon. It's the soleus muscle that becomes the tendon, the Achilles tendon. But this area in here gets super tight on a lot of people and causes knee problems and eventually hip problems. And it's just this guy here that's tight. And we don't stretch it hardly ever, unless you do things like this. You bring that knee forward. Now, if you do it right now and hold it, you are not feeling a stretch in your, what you consider your calf, and that's actually called the gastrocnemius, gastroc. But you will get a stretch lower down here that I'm pointing out. Okay, so every time you do this particular movement, and I do this a lot in my classes, go as far forward as you can with that knee. You're safe because you got weight on your hands, so you're not putting undue pressure on your knee, and keep the heel down. All right, so from here, you can do one of a couple things. We're going to switch feet, but if you want to, you can jump switch, or you can just walk it. Either way, just bring the other foot forward. And once again, work on bringing the knee forward, but keeping the heel down. And you may notice quite a difference from one foot to the other. Does your arch collapse, especially when you're forward? Do you know how to determine if your arch collapses? One way of doing it is keep your eye on your ankle, and as you move forward and start to put weight on it, does the inner ankle go closer to the floor? Don't let it. Keep your toes lifted the entire time.
Michael, I can feel the stretch, like you said, above the back of my knee there on this side, but I couldn't at all on the right side. It felt totally, I didn't feel anything. Here I can feel it.
Your stretch when you have a straight front leg?
When my knee's forward now, the back of my,
You should not be feeling it up here.
no, not up here, by my ankle,
Okay.
behind, right. But I didn't feel anything on the right side, so it must be.
Yeah, we all tend to be asymmetric. So that's not abnormal. Okay, set your blocks aside. Take your fingers to the floor. Curl your back toes. Lift your back knee. And step forward. Now feel free to have soft knees. Soft knees means they're bent. And hang. Then lift your hips and straighten your legs. And then bend your knees. And if it's really hard to keep your legs straight or even bring them straight, just go as high as you can with your hips. And the reason we're going in and out of this is usually we're pretty tight here. Now, straighten the legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release. Come up halfway again. Exhale, release. Now, can you all see yourself in your own video?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What I want you to do is turn sideways. So if your video is directly in front of you, turn sideways, adjust your device so that when you come up halfway, watch me, so that when you come up halfway, you can see the fullness of you, okay? And I want you to see whether or not you are back bending or you're just flat or you're rounding that spine. You should be back bending. The hips and the shoulders should be higher than the middle back. Can you do that? And that might mean, you know how I always say, inhale your fingers up your shins. You might have to come up here in order to do that. If you have to come up here, you bend your knees. And that when you bend your knees, it allows, let's say you're a male peacock, it allows the feathers to fan up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're tilting your pelvis and lifting the sits bones, and you're back bending here. Okay, so just check yourself out and see, and just repeat. Do it over and over a few times.
Can't quite see that far, so it's really small.
I can see you. All right, so Nancy, stay there. Now bring your shoulders back and your shoulder blades, squeeze them together. Lisa, you could do the same. Just squeeze them together. So now look down, both of you. Bring your neck in alignment with the rest of your spine. So Nancy, you got to lift your head up. But tuck your chin, Nancy. All right, you're lifting your entire torso, not just your neck. Now, squeeze the shoulder blades. So Lisa, slide your hands up a little higher so that it just facilitates that process. And then release down. All right, you're gonna try this. As you come up like this, to really get the effect of getting the shoulder blades squeezing together, you're gonna bring your arms out like this. And you can't help but feel your shoulder blades coming together. And then you're gonna release the arms down and come into your forward fold. You're gonna come back up, you're gonna take the arms wide, squeeze, and then release. Do that one more time. Release it down. Now, slide the fingers up the shins, perhaps into the thighs, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Because now you know how that feeling feels. And release. And now roll all the way up. We seem to have lost Wendy. Okay. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Pick up your right knee right in front of you. Bring the knee out. And then come into your tree. You can go low, you can go high, but the foot stays off of the knee. Find your balance. Now bring your hands back to the heart if they're not there, and lower your foot. Shift your weight to the other leg. Lift your left knee up. Wring the knee out. And then place your foot either on your inner thigh or on your inner calf. Your hands back to the heart and lower your foot. Come on up onto the balls of the feet. Just hover your heels. Lower down, lift back up, lower down. As you lower down, do not touch your heels to the mat. Just lower it, but hover and then come back up. Now, shift your weight to one side as you go up and down. Then go to the other side. Go to the first side. Back to the second side. And to the center. And stay up. Take your arms, reach them up into a V. Lower the heels, come into a forward bend. Inhale, slide your fingers up your shins. Feel that back bend, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, release. Take your feet shoulder width apart and come into a squat. So by the way, when I have you do these, come up halfway, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and you may not think much of it, but we tend to round. Gravity tends to pull us closed. Our emotional state tends to pull us closed every single day, and the days turn into years. So using your back muscles helps to keep you open. So open up right now. Bring your torso vertical, bring your hands on your thighs. And if you need to come up onto the balls of the feet, lift the heels up to make this doable, do that. Lift up. Can you close your eyes without crashing into furniture? All right, bring your hands down, right onto the mat. And then lift your hips, come into your forward bend, parallel your feet. And then come on down onto the mat. Go all the way down. And we're in a kneeling, initially we're in a kneeling position. I want you to kind of scoot over to the right. And you're going to lower your hips to the left. So when you do that, you're going to take this right foot and place it on top of the left foot. So the right toes are going straight back behind you. You're facing forward. Your right toes are going back behind you. Your left toes, which is the bottom foot, are going to the right. Yeah? All right, take your right hand onto the top of the left thigh. And take this left hand behind you and twist to your left, lifting through the sternum as you do this. Reaching your left hip down even more. Create as much distance as you can from the left shoulder to the left hip. Now, release back to center. You can take and just bring your feet over to the other side. This time, the top foot is your left foot, and the toes are going straight back, and the toes on the bottom right foot are going out to the left. Take your left hand. Is everybody there with me? Got that? Take your left hand on top of your left or right thigh, and right hand behind you, and twist open. Lift through the sternum. Create as much length as you can from the right shoulder to the right hip. And then come back to center. Take your legs out in front. And then come into a forward bend. Counter pose to any twist is a forward bend. So take a look at your feet and make sure they're both going up at 12 o'clock. So if one happens to turn out a little bit, bring it in. So you have to inner spiral that leg. And then reach forward and deepen your stretch. Lift up. Take your hands back behind you. There you go, scoot away. So your hands are probably a foot behind you. You can have your fingers facing away from you. And you're going to come up into a reverse plank. So take the shoulders back and down. And then lift up through the hips. And create a straight line from the tops of the feet to the shoulders. Lower down. Lift it up again. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhaling, come down. Sit up tall. Bring your arms, actually shake your arms out first. And then grab one hand and lengthen it, pull. Pull one hand right off the wrist, switch, pull the other hand off. Okay. All right, we've been pretty simple so far, yes? All right, come on up onto your feet. Once again, sorry, Nancy. Stand sideways on your mat. Bring your legs wide. And turn your right foot out. Place your hands on your hips. And actually turn your right foot forward once again. That was a good move, Lisa, so you can see. All right, so what I want you to notice when you're here, your hands on your hips, your feet are going straight ahead in the direction you're facing. And I want you to turn your right foot out without moving your right hand and obviously your right hip back behind you. Wendy, you joined us again.
My internet went down.
Okay, okay. All right, so legs are wide, stand sideways on your mat, turn your right foot out, hands on your hips. Now, you're gonna keep both legs straight. You're gonna take your hips to the left as you lean to the right. Keep your left shoulder and left ribs back. Come on back up again. And lean to the right once more. Come on back up. Lean right again, hips to the left. Left hip moving back, left ribs, left shoulder moving back. Lower that right arm. Raise the left arm. Stack the arms, come into your triangle. Come on back up. Hands to the hips, turn the right foot in, left foot turns out. Keep your legs straight. Take your hips to the right as your torso goes to the left. Come on back up. Feel the movement of your hands because of the movement of your hips. Take your hips to the right, torso to the left, leaning left. Come on back up. Float the arms out. We'll approach it differently on this side. Hips to the right, torso to the left. Left arm stays parallel to the floor. Now come into triangle. Lower the left arm, raise the right arm, stack the arms. Both palms are facing in the same direction. Lift up your sternum. Come on back up. Turn your foot in, hands to the hips. Now from here, hands stay on the hips, come into a half forward bend. Take your hands and clasp them behind your hips. Now straighten your arms and then begin to raise your hands up, deepening your forward bend. Now start to lift all the way up. Unclasp your hands once you're up. Bring your feet together. Roll your shoulders, move your arms. Okay. Let's do, and you may want to use a wall. I'll use a wall so that you feel free to use a wall. What we're going to do a a balancing pose, but I really want you to do it more so for the stretch purposes of it. We're gonna go into King Dancer. You don't have to use a wall, but you're welcome to. Shift your weight to your right foot, pick up your left foot and grab it from behind. And again, you can use a wall if you want. Now, all you're gonna do initially is lift up the sternum and bring that left knee back to where the right knee is. And bring the left heel right to the glute. That may be quite a stretch for some of you. Now you're gonna kick into that hand. So the heel is gonna leave the glute. The knee is gonna go back, but you're not bending forward. You're trying to stay up. Trying to stay upright, kick forward, but you're gonna go forward. You're trying not to go forward. Kick into that. Left hand. And then come on back up and release. So now we'll go to the other foot. You can switch walls if you want. Seems like all of you are staying where you are. So get that other foot in your hand, your right foot. Stand up tall, bring your hips forward, not back, and bring that right knee right next to the left knee. Now bring the heel right to the glute and reach that right knee straight down, lifting your chest. Now kick into that hand. So the heel leaves the glute. Kick in even stronger so the knee starts to lift up. Come all the way back up and release. Yabba dabba do. Good job. Is anybody else warm?
Yep.
Is it muggy where you are?
Yep.
Oh, my window's open, so it's not bad.
Okay.
It's breeze.
How are you, Lisa?
It's warm and they're mowing outside, so it's getting loud.
Yeah, I can't hear it at all. So, okay, so let's come into a squat. Bring your feet shoulder width apart. And it'll allow you to get your arms to the inside. So from here.
Audio, Michael. Michael, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Because I just recently got audio.
yeah, I know. By the way, for those of you who have been using Zoom for a while, they did an upgrade and you're supposed to upgrade, otherwise it's not going to work well. Okay, so you got to go to, if you have an iPhone or an iPad or any Apple stuff, you go to the apps application and get the download. And if you're on Android, I have no idea what, you go to their version of their apps application. Otherwise, Zoom will not work, period, or will not work well. So when you're in this pose and you got your heels down, you're trying to lean forward without rounding, okay? That's challenging. But you're trying to get your upper arms to the inside of the thigh, okay? Not just the knee, not way up here, but down here. And the other arm to the inside of the thigh. And then you take your hands together and you press your arms away, but then you take your legs and you squeeze them back in. And then you lift up through the sternum. So there's a tremendous amount of isometrics going on here, okay? And then you put a smile on your face and you look relaxed. Now we're gonna play with crow, okay? So take your hands down onto your mat. And just lean forward. Try to keep the upper arms to the inner thighs where they were, so you can stay deep, and then take weight off your feet. You don't have to lift your feet up, but I want you to be able to get confidence in the strength of your arms. And so you just go forward and you go back, you go forward, you put the weight back onto your feet, you go forward, you put the weight onto your hands, and you just get the feel going forward and back. You stay there a long time, Lisa, it gets tiring. Wendy, are you able to come up?
No, the big toe's still on.
Okay. See if you can get to the tip of your toes. And then, you know, that's another step. It's a big step. All right, come on down for a second, because we're going to work this just a little bit more, not too much more. When you're doing this, this is all about confidence. It's not about your fear. It's about your confidence. Okay, so you switch it in your mind. All right, it's not I can't do it. It's wow, I went a little further. So when you first start doing this, I just want to see you, make sure you can see me. You can see my feet. So when you first start doing this, you'll just come forward a little bit. And then eventually the balls of your feet lift up. And I don't know if you can see that. And then eventually you go onto your toes. I'm actually on my tiptoes. But keeping my feet or my toes down gives me some comfort. And then I'm not going to do a header, because I'm not trying to go too fast. Now, I can lift my feet up, as you all know. But when I first started playing with this, I had to get this movement down. Forward, back onto my feet. More onto my hands, more onto my feet. And then I kept doing this, and all of a sudden my feet lifted up one day. It's like, oh, shoot. All right, so you put them right back down again. And then you keep going, you realize, well, that's really what I'm trying to do in the first place, okay? But you get more confidence and more confidence. It's not about lifting a foot up and then lifting the other foot up. It's about floating. And that happens when you're balanced and you're confident. So I want you to do stuff like this at our age, okay? So that we don't ever use the excuse, I'm getting older. This is one thing. This is another pose right here. Oh, I'm going to fall. I'm going to fall. You're on the ground already, right? And if you panic, you're going to fall. If you roll with it, you laugh, right? And I know everyone who's ever fallen has ended up laughing, right? So since I brought up boat pose, come on into boat. Now in boat pose, take a look at your shins, and either you got straight legs or your shins are parallel, but your heels are not below your knees, okay? So at the very least, your shins are parallel. Now see if you can sit up taller. Bring your low back forward, and you're lifting up through your sternum. So you're getting onto the tip of your sits bones. Now lower one leg parallel to the floor, it's hovering. The other leg does not move. Bring it back in and switch. That leg that's up, that shin is still vertical, or parallel to the floor rather, I'll bring it up. Or both legs are straight. Now grab toe lock without losing your balance. And if you lose your balance, it's demerits. No, it's not. It's just a matter of learning. Straighten your legs, take them wide. So move like this. How comfortable do you feel? Do you feel wobbly? Do you feel shaky? Do you feel nervous that you're wobbly and shaky? This is a nice one to play with because you can't hurt yourself if you roll back. So everyone roll back without using their arms, come right back up into your boat. without your feet coming down. Do it again. Now, next time you do this roll, see if you can roll back up to boat without using your legs to kick yourself back up. So the way to do that was good, Lisa. The way to do that is round through the lower back. Round that lower back so you create a nice half circle. All right, cool beans. Where are we? This class goes too fast.
Yeah.
All right, lay down on your back, bring your knees into your chest, take your arms out to the sides. And then lower your knees to the right. And just come into a simple, relaxing twist. See if you can keep your knees together. So the knees are over to that first side, just let them open up. And then bring them back to center and go to the other side. Come back to center, hug your knees in, wrap your arms around, and then open up and come into Shavasana. Find that perfect, comfortable pose on the floor. Surrendering, letting go. Move your head from side to side. Move your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bend your elbows and free up your hands and wrists. And then draw your knees in. Rolling to your right side. And then come on up to a comfortable seated pose. Bringing your hands to the heart. Give yourself a thank you for your practice. Today's Thursday, the beginning of your weekend. Go out and enjoy the sunshine. Thank you for your time, your practice. Namaste. Thanks. Thanks,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thank you.
All right. And
Hey, Michael,
yeah.
Michael, I did not register.
Okay.
Can you fix that on your end?
Yeah. That's why.
Okay,
That's why I just took a picture to find out who's here, and then
all right.
Lisa, are you in? Lisa?
Yeah.
Are,
Yes.
Did you sign up? Did you register?
Yes, I did. Yep.
So you're good.
Don't think I did today, Michael.
Is that right? Okay. All right. I got you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Very good.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Nancy.
Bye. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you too. Bye, Gretchen. Bye, Lisa.
Bye, Gretchen. Bye, Nancy.
Bye, Michael.
Bye, Wendy.